And another game we got a fair bit of time with this week was Call of Duty World War II. It was actually released last week, but we'd only been able to play it a little bit, and of course there were some server problems which delayed things in two as well. But this week got to play a lot more, and continuing to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I have mentioned previously I'm a big fan of the era. I like the weapons. They all feel very authentic, very cool. Love the sound. The sound is amazing in this one, I think. We were talking the other night. The footsteps in the game seem to be probably the loudest footsteps they've done in a Call of Duty game. But with the 5.1 headset that I'm using, you can really tell where people are coming from if they're running, right? And what surface they're running on too. So I'm out in the road and I hear somebody running on wood. I know it's not to my left because that's more road. So I turn to the right and sure enough, some guy comes around the corner. I get to shoot him. So yeah, really cool. Using the sound a lot more in this one than I have in the previous ones.
Yeah. It's kind of cool because like you said, those footsteps are they're loud when someone's running, but not at other.
Yeah, I mean,
times,
you can
so
walk around and crouch, right? So I mean, it's not.
Yeah, there's more strategy to it. I like it because that's like you playing with a headset. That's something I appreciate is being able to use those audio cues for knowing where enemies are and that kind of stuff.
Well, you figure in real life, if you're standing there looking down a hallway, you would hear a 210, 240 pound, Marine with wearing like 30 pounds of backpack and armory coming up behind you.
Yep.
You'd think you would hear that, right?
Yep.
So I do like that.
Yeah, and it's we've been able to play a lot more of the maps over. Now, what I have found this year. Contrary to you, I am not a big fan of the sort of World War II era and the weapons and stuff of that time, and that was a criticism I had of the beta. But this game has just hooked me more than any Call of Duty since I think like Black Ops 2.
Yeah, wow.
I am just loving this. It's something this week just sort of clicked with me with this game, and I'm totally hooked and totally in love with the multiplayer, just having so much fun with it, all the different progression mechanics and the different weapons, and the maps are beautiful. So just really in love with this one. Have you played any more of the campaign? I haven't had a chance to go back to the campaign yet.
I
want to go back and do it.
It's been all multiplayer. It's been all multiplayer. What I'm really liking about the multiplayer is that the different types of prestiging you can do. Right, so you can prestige your division, your gun, your character.
Yep.
And I love that because I've always found, for me, so the level cap is 55, and then you prestige and you go back and unlock a few fancy things and then go back up it again. And I've always found that grind of like level 45 up to 55 been very painful. But now I can prestige a weapon or two in between that. Gain some XP again for the same things, and unlock their attachments again, and I really appreciate that. It gives me goals to do while I'm at that high level, trying to grind through that XP.
Right.
So I find that's super helpful. I'm really liking it. Although some of us have not reached 55 yet, but some of us.
I'm there. I'm at 55. Yes.
Is ready to prestige
I'm
already.
almost ready to go through first prestige, which is pretty cool. Well, they did double XP for the past weekend, which really helped, and the supply crates that you get, I picked up some XP boosts in there as well, so that's helped.
And it helps that you're above average in the game as well.
I'm okay with this one. Yeah, it depends.
You're so humble.
I'm inconsistent. I'll have some bad rounds, but I'll have rounds where at least my KD is positive, right? I mean, I'm above average. I think currently I've clawed my KD back to like 0.92 or something like that. If I can get it over 1, I'll be really, really happy. Yeah. But I find the game is just so much fun. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not worried about it as much.
I had a few rounds where I forgot to check the score. Yeah. Or at least my KD, because it was just such a fun round. Right. I'm like, oh crap! How did I even do? Does it even matter really? Right. I mean,
and that's what tells you that it's a good, enjoyable game. When you get
you're not so obsessed over your kill death. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
One thing I noticed now that we've gone through and played each of the maps several times, they seem a little smaller than other Call of Duty maps. Do they not?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe there's more smaller maps. I mean, you've got Gustav Cannon, that's a larger one, but yeah, they don't have as many. Yeah, I guess they don't have as many large scale maps. They do tend to be a little smaller. I mean, that may be by design as well, because it's the boots on the ground type stuff. You're not a super soldier. You're not
jetpacking
everywhere. Yeah, so it is a slower paced game. Yeah. So I think that plays to the smaller map a little more.
Now that's not to say you can't snipe or it's not beneficial to
no,
snipe.
Absolutely.
Because there are several maps now that I'm sniping on which I'm really enjoying. I was never a big sniper guy. I was always the run and gun dude. And it's funny, what turned me off sniping originally was the very first one they brought out for online, Modern Warfare.
Okay.
And when Modern Warfare Remaster came out and I had nothing left to do but level up the sniper rifles before I could prestige, I all of a sudden fell into it and started sniping really well. So the same game that kind of turned me off sniping put me right back on it, and shockingly I've done quite well, in my opinion, sniping in this one. So yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, that's another thing for me that I had in the earlier Call of Duties. I would use sniper rifles. The more recent ones, I just couldn't hit anything with them, and I just avoided them. This one, World War II, I'm using the sniper rifles. I'm able to do pretty well with them, and they're enjoyable. So again, another part of the game that just lends itself to me having a great time with it, and just I can see myself playing this one quite a bit. You talked about the maps, them being smaller. I think though they've done two things: a very good job of making each map different and unique.
Yes,
they are very different areas and layouts, and the sound that you say, like each map has its own sound as well, right? There's one where you're on a flak tower, you've got flak cannons going off, and then you've got the one in the forest that's there's quieter. So there's different great variety in the maps, and even the smaller maps, I think they've done a good job of having wide open areas for sniping and close quarters areas. Like, I think every map has a mixture of both.
Yeah.
So you really can take any weapon on any map, although I tend to gravitate towards certain weapons on certain maps, or my preference. But you really could take any weapon on any map, because you've got areas where you can use anything.
Yeah, and the key thing that we always say, right, when we're playing is play to your weapon strength. So if you can absolutely take any weapon you want on almost any map. But if you're going to take the submachine gun, stick to the closer quarters areas.
Right.
If you're taking the sniper, don't go inside buildings unless you're looking for a window to snipe out of, sort of thing. And I find that it plays a lot heavier in this one than previous ones.
But overall, great game, really enjoying it. Highly recommended if you're a Call of Duty fan.
Yeah, big time. Agreed.